of county governments are: 1, licensed by the Central Bank of Kenya; 2, are subject to the Auditor General audit; and then number 3, must also submit their systems to the Auditor General, because it's public money. I know there are issues of intellectual property rights will come in place, but I think to be able to clean the system and to do away with this in discipline and this corruption, because that's where the corruption is. The corruption is dwelling on the revenue collectors, some of them who are not licensed by Central Bank, but they are contracted by county governments. I think there was a county in the coast which I think the percentages were almost 25% or something like that in terms of the revenue or the commission that is taken by the service provider. So that's a question. Should we be looking at that? Because I'm just trying to imagine a situation where you, so moto, decides that this is what we're going to do. Maybe it can be questioned by law. Can we then support you in Parliament specifically to ensure that there's discipline and also to ensure that at least you can be able to follow the money trail from the client to the service provider to the county revenue fund, and then also from wherever it goes? Because if we were to do a project audit, if we were to change the system audit and you do a project audit, we will actually be able to reduce on corruption. But currently, we just have figures. It's not line item. It's just it's not project based. It's just just figures. They say, oh, we're going to spend 5 million on the road, but it is not. There's no narrative to say what the 5 million is all about. So I just want to engage you in that conversation to see how best we can be able to assist, put discipline there, and ensure fiduciary responsibility.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Senator Olekina. I would have to beg to differ. If we go that way, we will continue perpetuating an illegality. Honourable Chair, the Public Finance Management Act says that National Treasury will prescribe the systems to be in use. Now, the Public Finance Management System includes revenue collection and expenditure systems. What happened at the onset of devolution is we had a lot of briefcase suppliers of revenue systems that cropped up all over. And counties recruited them to raise their revenues or to collect for them. Then every subsequent change of administration, you will find some of these counties changing their revenue collectors for whatever purpose, without proper due diligence on whether these systems work best for them or without negotiating the terms for that collection. We have to go back to the public finance management system. We have to ask National Treasury to come in and prescribe the public finance management system for revenue collection, which should be standardized. We should not have, for example, County A paying 30% of their revenue as commissions to a certain service provider and County B paying 75% or 50%. It should be standardized, because that is where we are also losing a lot of revenue. We have different service providers from different counties charging different rates, using different systems. Some we are not even sure of their reliability, and that's why now I have my data team, my information systems and data analytics team doing some of these assessments. Let's go back to what does the law say, and how do we curb this proliferation of so-called revenue service providers and these changes that keep occurring as and when. You have some counties, for every revenue stream has a different revenue service provider. That is wastage of resources. So you can imagine I think at one point, I think Senate requested me to give a list of all the revenue. I don't know whether it was this committee or the